Hey guys, and welcome back to Real Talk with Dane. Thank you so much again for joining, for coming back and listening. Appreciate you guys' support, appreciate you guys' feedback. If you do like what I'm posting, please do subscribe to my channel, please do like, and please do comment. Today, I've got a good colleague of mine whom I wanted on here for a while, Snesipho. Thank you so much for doing this and taking the time up to do this with me.
Pleasure, Dave.
Yeah, cool. So the reason why I wanted you on is because, like, when we met, we spoke about your creativity or your creative side. I know you've done dancing, you sing, you write. It's like a whole bunch of things that you do, and that really like stood out for me. I said, no, I need to talk to you about it. So I want you to talk to us about, like, where did it start? Where did the creative side start? Was it something that was in your family? Were you the first person? Talk to us. How old were you when it started? What is the first thing you did or participated in? Talk to us a bit about that.
Okay, so first of all, I'm the only one who can sing in my family, so
Okay. Let's just make things straight.
let's make it clear, when they're singing in the house, I must always have my hands up in the air outside and be like, okay guys, I'm not beating them up because they sound like they're crying. So no, definitely not.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to the singing part, it was just a thing for me. I really loved singing from an early age.
Okay.
So I don't know about other people, but most black families on Saturdays we do our spring cleaning, and the sound system is always on high.
Yeah.
And then there was this one time whereby my mom was playing gospel music.
Yeah.
And then there was this one particular song we had been singing in my creche. And then I started singing it, and then that's when she also noticed that, okay, girl, you can sing. And then from then on, once we hear a compliment on something, then I started nurturing it and nourishing it, and it ended up being something that I fall in love with. And then with regards to writing, my bigger sister is also into poetry.
Okay.
So she would always be in these competitions. So I got that writing skill from her. However, it only started in like maybe late primary.
Okay.
But when it comes to acting and public speaking, in grade R, when I arrived in my primary school, there was this competition that was to happen, but I was a very forward child.
Okay.
I ended up entering the competition, and then from then on they saw that I'm actually not fazed by public audience and stuff, and then they started pushing me to do more and more, and that's how it ended up being a thing for me as well.
Interesting. So it started very, very young, because you said at creche already.
Yes, in creche.
Wow. And how old are you in creche? You like what?
I was
5?
4 to 5 probably.
Sure.
Because I was surrounded by bigger cousins. Like, we grew up in my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
So hearing them speak English, I also want to learn English. I can't be speaking Xhosa all the time, okay?
Yes.
So I was very into a lot of things, being forward, learning English at a young age. And then when I got in primary, I had already at least had a background, They just had to put in the spices to make me perfect, I guess. But that also helped. So
Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. I like how you started so young.
Yeah.
And even though, like, you mentioned, like, singing, you said you're the one that can sing in the family. Like, it just naturally came to you. And I love how you said that you were forward. So because of that personality trait that you got, you were so forward, you put yourself in situations. So you experimented, basically. Can I sing or can't I sing? Okay, I can, I can't.
Yeah.
Can I act? Can't I act? Okay, this and that. Can I write or whatever,
Yeah.
And I think that is important, and it's so awesome that you had that from a young age, from such a young age. So by the time you were in high school, you more or less knew, okay, where I want to go in, or what I want to do, or what I love, and so forth. Talk to us about like you said from primary school you just needed to tweak a couple of things because you've been doing other things already. Okay, before I actually go into that, let me talk about your languages. I know you can speak quite a few languages, and you mentioned something earlier on. How was that also because of how forward you were, or how was that? What caused that?
I think being surrounded by people of different races also it had a factor into me knowing a lot of languages. For instance, I was born in Joburg. So in Joburg, obviously, they speak Zulu, Tswana, Sotho, Pedi. So you can't feel left out. I mean, I was born there. It would be very bizarre for me to not be able to speak the languages they speak.
Yeah.
But also having diverse family. I have a father who's Zulu, a mother who's Xhosa. So I have two different kinds of tribes in my family. My cousins are colored. So Afrikaans also comes into that. I mean, having all these people around me also helped a lot with me learning the languages. But also, as an artist, I felt like I need to know these because if I am to do a poem, I can't just mainly focus on English. Sometimes some things are better said in a language a person understands and speaks, and it's their own mother tongue. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Oh, that is. What was the age what is the first language you what is your like home language?
Xhosa and Zulu, but mostly Xhosa.
Mostly Xhosa.
I grew up around my grandmother in most cases. So most of the time it was my grandmother and I, and then my mom. Most of the time it was Xhosa. However, having aunties that speak Zulu, then
you learned that as well.
So maybe 80% Xhosa and 20% Zulu from a young age, and then as I grew, obviously.
What was the next language you took on?
Tswana. Okay, Tswana. English. Let me not lie. Yeah, English and then Tswana.
Okay.
And then from then on, having to be in a primary that still teaches Afrikaans. From grade 5, I started learning Afrikaans as well until grade 8. So. Afrikaans also, I learned it, and then the others just came along. I mean, being a writer, I also read for inspiration. So if I'm reading a Sotho book, I need to understand that. So reading also helps improve my vocabulary and my knowledge of whatever language it is that I am learning.
No, perfect. And I think it is, like you even mentioned, it's important for you to know the language because you don't know who you're gonna come across in the industry that you're doing or in and so forth. So that is very, very important, speaking the language. Did you not have like for me, if I think about it, I would have this, you would say, I'm gonna take on another language or whatever, but I'd have this fear of it's gonna take forever to go. Is this gonna be pointless? Is this gonna? Did you not have like fears like that? How did you just like overcome something and just like get into it?
I feel like the moment I think about something and then I start pursuing it, I put all my focus in it until I actually pursue it. So I'm not a timid person. I'm not one to maybe change their minds. I'm like, okay, cool, this is not working out. Let me stop. No, I'm very confident in that aspect. Like, if I want something, I make sure I get it.
You do it.
I put in all the work.
And did you, like, while you were learning all these languages, did you know the point of learning them, or did you just do it just because you were in such a diverse community?
I had a mission. I mean, if you are looking into maybe being in the performance industry and also the art industry, I mean, there will be roles whereby they say they want someone who speaks Tswana and Xhosa. So I must make sure that, okay, if they want Tswana, look, I can be Tswana for you.
Smart.
If you want me to speak English, okay, cool, I can be a whitehead for you. If you want me to speak Xhosa, go ahead. Let's do it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you always had that vision in your mind, and you said, you know what? They look for people like this. I need to do this because it's only going to make things better for me in the future.
Yeah, I mean, maybe also doing it with my sibling and my cousins, then that also helped because I wasn't just alone. It wasn't just me in this journey of learning these languages. It was me and my sister and my cousins.
I see. That is nice. So you're quite close with them by the sounds of it.
My sister mostly, we... Even in high school, I don't remember having really much friends. We were very inseparable.
Okay. No, that's good because, I mean, at least you guys have each other
Yeah.
you know, to support each other and to help learn and teach. Is she older than you though?
Yeah.
Younger?
She
Oh, she's
is.
older.
But she must not hear that. I'm the older one.
How many years are you guys apart?
2 years apart.
Okay, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. So
I'm
it's
the older
perfect.
one though.
You said you're the older one.
Let's
Okay.
get that straight.
You're the older one and you're the one that can sing, eh?
Yes, the one that can sing.
Talk to me about so doing all of these things and being in the industry for quite a while. Talk to me about the competitions that you've entered. Talk to us about that. Was there something that probably stood out for you about one of them? How much did you attend? Why did you do it? And you know.
So with regards to competitions, they started in primary already. I would always join the choir group. Like every year there would be choir competitions. So I guess I got used to competition at that point, so that even when I lose at something, it does not hurt me because I've been through this already. I know there's always going to be a next time for it.
Yeah.
But the one that stood out for me would probably have to be in grade 10.
Okay.
It wasn't really a competition for singing because I'm also into business, so we were in a competition for business proposals.
Okay.
And then we had to come up with an idea to basically save whatever the problem that we currently we're faced with at the current moment. And living in Langa, I mean, we are surrounded by shacks and there's always fires. I mean, there was a previous one just now recently, and a lot of people lost their homes. I think about 750 people.
Sure.
So we came up with this idea that there should be this different system that is used. So we don't use paraffin to light up stuff, but we use lipids. So we will be recycling our oils, but also using them for a different cause. So we did that business idea, and then they approved it, and we actually won. And it was a big amount for high school students. So that's like one that stood out for me. But the other one that it was not really a competition, however, it was a school trip whereby we went to the University of Washington. And then we went to this arts class. It was very inspiring. But I think the moment that took my breath away was being surrounded by people who are artists, who are doing this and are so successful at it, but actually share a tear when they hear me sing. I think witnessing them crying was like, oh snap, you're doing this thing, girl. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, eh?
That moment I will forever cherish.
I can't even imagine what you feel at the time.
Yeah.
Like, especially like a well-known artist maybe, or people that's developed already, you know. That is I want to talk about that, right? But I don't want to get off like your business idea. So what happened with that though? Did they actually use it? Is it actually a thing?
No, I mean it's ours, but they did say that if we would like to pursue it, we can go back into doing it, but it is registered in our names.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
so we did register it.
Is that something that you plan on doing in the future with you and your group?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I mean, me and the other guys are still in touch. So
okay.
Probably it was just 4 of us. So I mean, we all still trying to figure life out. Some of them are still studying. So maybe once they also get back on their feet and then they maybe graduate, maybe we might actually revisit that and then start working on it.
Perfect, because I mean it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a very good idea, and I mean I'm sure it can be put to good use.
Definitely.
And it can change a lot for our communities and so forth. So I definitely think it's something to look back on and go visit again and actually do it. Put it into play and everything. Yeah, that's great. Talk to me about this competition. You traveled, it allowed you to travel a lot as well.
So not for the competition, but the program I was in high school. It was a student exchange program.
Okay.
And then obviously they wanted people who stand out, and well, it's hard not to stand out when you're involved in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
My sister was previously in it, and then she told me about it, and I took interest in that, and especially after she came back from that side and told me the feedback, I was like, okay, I actually want to experience this for myself and see it. And then we did go that side, and it's a good program because you learn a lot about the cultures of
Yes.
other people. You
Yes,
know,
yes, yes.
you get to experience life in the person's shoes instead of you trying to think how it could actually be, how it is to be them. So you get to experience how it is to be them.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's nice. Yeah. And I mean, even growing up with you, you were originally like in a diverse community and
Yeah.
with family, so it wasn't like a shock for you when you
Yeah.
went over somewhere else to a, you know, it wasn't like a shock for you. You could still understand that, and you understood everything,
Yeah.
how it works or whatever, and you were open to learn the next person's, you know,
Yeah, true.
culture and tradition and so forth. So that's nice. So it's brought a lot of opportunity for you, I can imagine, and a couple of well-known people that you've met along the way, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
There was a couple of them as well. Talk to us about those experiences.
Okay, so I feel like the most well-known person I've ever met, and who also stays where I stay, is Sylvia Mtunyelwa. She's a writer for Xhosa novels, and she's a poet. She's also an artist
Okay.
as well. She sings so beautifully.
Okay.
And I think that's one person that I could say it was an honor to meet her. But I mean, even previously, I remember I had a gig in Gugastebe, which is also in Langa, and then we were also performing with Bittenberg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And then, who's this lady now? I forgot her name, but she's in Fresher Ground.
Okay.
I once
okay.
worked with her at Baxter Theatre.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
you got you managed to work with him as well, not just meet him.
Yeah, I mean, it was an honor, not just to meet them, but to work with them.
Yo, wow.
And then a pianist who is also a brother to the late Brenda Fassi.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very good. But Temba, I also, even him, even as much as he was very strict and I didn't like him at first, but yeah, he's very, like, his input has also helped as well, because he has an ear for music, is also wonderful, yeah.
Wow.
And also one of the biggest marimba players, Oput Banzi, who also lives in Langa, and he's traveled so many places. He even has classes. He teaches in Stellenbosch he teaches students how to play marimba. So also performing with the marimba group that he has.
Yeah.
Going to places. I mean, it's quite a few people, hey? I could say.
Wow. And you got to, I didn't even know you got to work with him. I think that is like meeting someone and getting to work with him, someone so well known. I think that's a big difference, because you can meet them, you can have a conversation or whatever, but I mean, once you work with them, you spend that extra time with them, you get to learn their way of doing things, their habits, their nicks and tricks around certain situations and so forth. And I think it's so much of a bigger thing than to work with someone, just then rather to meet them, you know, or just have a conversation with them and so forth. What is, like, obviously, like, working with some of them and meeting, what is like one moment that was like, wow, this is gonna change everything for me, or like advice that they've given you, or the way they've worked or done certain things? Is there anything like that you can share with us?
I think one thing that stood out for me was back in 2018, I think. I took the courage of taking my career to social media. It was the first time I posted a video, and then it was both singing and poetry. And having Sylvia actually ask for my video and share it, that really stood out for me. Even an MP, he's a minister in parliament, he loved my video, he shared it and shared such a great comment on it. So having big people see this and be like, people need to hear you, having influencers tweeted, having so many retweets on it, like, I think that's the one part of it that stood out, that you know, they see it, they hear it. Because in most cases, I feel like if people know you, then they're just gonna compliment you in the sense that, we know her, shame. So it was very genuine coming from them, because they don't know me. I have never done this before. However, they're falling in love with my creativity.
Yes, there you go. That's a big thing.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
think
big
that's
thing.
like one.
So you said you started the whole social media thing in 2018, right?
Yeah.
How is it going so far?
I stopped it.
Okay, why?
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm more good at performing. I mean, the feedback was great. I mean, everyone loved it. Everyone wanted more. People started asking if I'm going to create a page now. But
Yeah.
I felt like I was not ready yet to get into that. Because even when I did that, it was on request. Someone loved it. I did it on a VN for them. And then they were like, no, I love this. Share it. Because it was during the time whereby kids who had afro were being bullied. Teachers had an issue with that. So people loved it, that it actually connected to a lot of black and colored girls who have curly hair, who have afro, who are being in these incidents whereby they feel belittled now because of the texture of their hair. Yeah.
Wow, so it was definitely a powerful thing. I'm definitely gonna go check it out. Is it still on the social media though?
I don't know if they still have it. I mean,
we need to check, and I think you guys listening need to go have a look at it as well, if it is still on there.
I doubt.
So you said you feel you're not ready yet to take that step, or you're more comfortable doing like live performances and so forth. So which is fine. I just think like with, you know, like 2 years ago with the whole pandemic and so forth, I think a lot of things has moved to an online platform. I mean, it was already going that way, but the fact that happened, it's even more like that. And I do think you should like still like work around something like that and do something just to get like out there, you know. Obviously when you're ready, when you're comfortable and so forth, obviously you will know when you're ready. And I mean, you've built such a good or strong foundation already. Like from a young age, that was all your life was for so long. And being able to meet the people and work with people in the industry that's big in the industry, I mean, that is amazing. You got to travel. I mean, it's really like amazing, man, that you got to experience that, and not all of us has that, man. So it's something definitely to be grateful for on your side, and I'm sure you are grateful. I mean, still you're so humble.
I mean, you must be grateful for every little. I appreciate every little thing. It does not have to be big, but I just appreciate it, because it could have been someone else's opportunity, but you know,
it was yours and so
forth. It was mine.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let me. Yeah, what is the so I feel like you're more passionate about the singing compared to like writing and the dancing and that. Is that true?
I mean, I sing every day, so I feel like I do that a lot. But even writing, it's just, I don't just write out of nowhere. I must first get inspired before I start writing, because if I just write, then I will not be satisfied with it, and I'll probably throw it away before anyone can see it. So I mean, and then I'm also passionate about my other creativities as well, like acting. I love acting. It's so time consuming, because you spend a lot of hours on set, so it's a lot. But with singing, I know even if I would get a gig, I just go not even an hour and then I'm done and then I go home. But I enjoy it.
I see. So acting is a bit more because of the time and so forth.
It takes time.
I said, if you had to choose one, which one would it be? That's a hard question.
It's a very hard question. Can I choose two?
Okay, choose two.
I think both writing and singing.
Okay.
Because with regards to writing, I feel like that's where I find my healing as well.
Yes.
Because I'm not a very open person. I'm not one to open up. I'm sure you've picked up.
Yes.
I'm not good at opening up, especially about serious stuff. So that's where I let it all out. In as much as when I write it, it will not be that obvious that, okay, this is what I'm going through. Because obviously, I'll put it in an artistic way so that everyone connects it. Because we're not all going through the same thing.
Yes.
But you must connect to how I'm feeling at this moment, because the feeling could be the same, however the situations could be different. And then when it comes to singing, I mean, I it's been one thing that's been there for me. It also heals me in the sense that it keeps my mind off things at times. I mean, and it also helps other people. It's very weird. I always, if someone is feeling sad, anyone in my circle, they'll always text and be like, Sina, I'm not feeling fine. Can you please sing for me? My friend passed on. Can you please sing for me? So I get such requests, and that's the only instances whereby I'm like, okay, I'm really going to sing for you because you really need. So everyone has always told me that I have a healing voice, so I would not want to let that go because it heals other people as well.
Wow, that's an amazing gift that you got.
Yeah, so
That's
I
an
think
amazing.
the two, yeah.
That's wow. Like the fact that you can heal people with your gift, and the fact that you realize, look, this is what God has given me.
Yeah.
I need to use it to heal His people, to heal the community, and so on. And I think that's so awesome because not only are you doing it through singing, I mean, you did it through your business plan as well. That's going to change communities and help communities, you know. And even with your writing, people can relate and people can find comfort in what you're writing, even though it heals you. By writing it, I mean, it touches so many other people's lives as well, and I think that is awesome. With your dancing, is there anything like that where you feel like it's healing people, or like in a sense of what you're saying about your singing now? Do you feel the same about your dancing, or is it more just the writing and the singing?
So with regards to dancing, I haven't been dancing for years. Oh Lord.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it also started at a young age. So it was my two cousin sisters and my sister and I. So all four of us, we used to like dance a lot.
Yeah.
Growing up, we'd play music and then come with these dance sequences and stuff,
Yes,
and
yes.
then we'd dance a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it started at that. However, when I moved this side, and then I started attending church. So when there's going to be like big events, then we do like the worship dance for like music, gospel music.
Yes.
So interpreting what the song means, using your body, just for
Yes.
entertainment,
Yes.
but also to connect with God in a way, but through dancing.
Through
So
dancing, yeah.
I think. But ever since COVID, I was like, you know what? Yeah. But ever since COVID, I haven't been dancing. So it's been years since I stopped dancing.
Okay.
But I did use it to like connect with God, but to like also, I mean, it's a good exercise. I don't like going to the gym. So it helps.
No, definitely dancing is definitely a good exercise. I love how like you've got all this creativity and how it touches people, man. I think like sitting here and talking to you now about this, I think that is so amazing, and I'm so like blown away by what your creativity can do and how powerful that is, man. You know, it's not just about like the singing. It's a great career and you're gonna earn lots of money and you can buy this and buy that, and it's much deeper than that, than the materialistic things or the fame or whatever. It's much deeper than that, and I think I love that. I love the healing and the deeper side to that. So like, thank you so much for sharing that. That is that was so cool. That was I'm inspired, like talking to you now and listening and just thinking it through. I'm inspired because I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in reality or the materialistic side of things, and it's going to do this for me and it's going to bring me so much money and so forth. We forget about the deeper thing, you know. We forget about changing people's lives actually with it, and that life can change 10 other lives, and those 10 other lives can change our next 100 lives. And so forth. It's something that can be passed on for generations and generations, you know, and that's a big thing. It's something that can carry on even after you're gone. You know, and that is even more bigger than the nice car that we drive or the nice house we live in or whatever, you know. And I think that was so big. I'm inspired by that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was so awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah. So I need to know, with all this creativity you've got going, all the experience you've got, what is the goal? What is the end result? Where do you see yourself like in the next 10 years? What's the plan?
I mean, for me, it's just not for me. Like you say, I'm not one that, okay, I want to be an Emmy winning singer or whatnot, but what I want to fuel other people who are also artistic but don't have the courage to
I see.
step up and start experiencing it. I feel like I'm more on the grooming side than to be on the live and performing and being this big artist. I feel like I'm more on the I'm a supporter. I want to support them, but support them being with them in the same journey. So I really want to like help out people who like writing, who love singing, to better whatever is already inside them, and to get it out there, have them get out of that box they've been boxed in. So that's for me. I just want to break the barriers for everyone to be able to pursue whatever they want to pursue, because I mean, it's not easy for someone to have the courage to actually start something.
Yes.
I mean, we grow up especially in black families. If you want to say you want to be an artist, the mother goes crazy. Like, no, you're not going to do that. No. There's no money there. There's not this, there's no that. Yes. I want to support them so that they can be able to pursue that.
Wow.
But I would love to also have my own stuff, because I love writing. I also love singing. So maybe I might just consider taking up that, but in the meantime I just want to be on the sideline and support the ones that still need to get out there and find their courage and whatever that they want to, because it's very hard to find what exactly your gist is, because you know, so many people are so confused. They're here, they're there, and you just never know. So I want them to find themselves.
Wow, that's so awesome. That you keep surprising me as we talk. You keep surprising me. I like that, because I understand that sometimes we've got the potential, but we're too scared to, you know, stand in front of a crowd and perform or whatever. And we know we got the potential, but it's so hard to get out of that comfort zone. And I mean, the community needs people like you, where you would say, we would come and talk and say, you know what, I understand what you guys are going through. I was just like that. I understand it's hard to do this or that. And that words, you coming in there and sharing your story, I think is like powerful. I don't want to say it's the most powerful thing, but even like in my experience, like listening to people's story who's gone through the same thing, or who's come from the same thing that I'm currently going through or whatever, is a big encouragement. It's a living testimony, you know. And that is important to start off in whichever line you would like to go in, and so forth. And the next person can also then use that to the next generation, to the younger generation, and say, you know what, I was also there and someone spoke to me about this to help me get where I am today, and so forth. So I love it's been a while since I heard someone talk about helping and supporting. You know, I just realized this now, that there's so much of us that has a different goal in mind, and sometimes we're so selfish in our own goals and dreams and so forth, that we forget about the next person or the next person's potential or that. So I love that you're saying that is actually where you want to be in. You don't necessarily want to be the girl that's, you know, on TV and fame and whatever, but you want to be that one who's helping and supporting the ones coming up. And that is so powerful. And I'm encouraged and inspired by it. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's honestly the truth. And you know, being in this conversation with you and so forth. So that's super cool. Thank you so much. It's nice that you've got such a pure heart.
I want to say it's pure. Hey. No.
Stop being modest.
It's not pure, but I feel like I have a healing spirit. I've always known this from a very young age. So why not use it to help the next person? Because if I don't use it, then it's going to waste, basically.
It's going to waste, yeah.
And I feel like if you don't use something whilst it's still, you know, in its power, then you end up losing it along the way. So yeah, the more you use it, the better you get at it. So
look, you're born with a gift and you're using it. You're putting it to use. This is your purpose in life, is to heal. And I mean, you realize that from a young age, and you're doing that. You using the gift that God has given you, because not everyone has that gift, you know. And I mean, wow, it's amazing that you do that. And I'm struck by all of this. Wow, awesome. This is awesome. This is good. I like this.
I try.
Yeah.
I try, man. I try.
Thank you so much again for sharing that. Talk to me about your. I hope you got an answer for me. This is like this is a weird part of the podcast for a lot of people.
Okay.
Your most recent lesson. Talk to me about that. It doesn't have to be recent though. It's just yeah.
I mean, my recent one, it's probably 2, I guess.
Okay, you can talk to us about both.
The first one would definitely to take it one day at a time, because I'm one person who is a perfectionist.
Okay.
But in the midst of it all, I end up trying to push too much sometimes. So recently I just learned that, you know what, sometimes you must just take it one day at a time and not push too much, because I might end up pushing myself over the limit. So I've learned to just take it one day at a time. And then the second one would to not just assume that people know that you love them, but always reassure them that you love them.
Wow.
So that you can find the solace that at least they know that I love them, even if something happens. So don't just assume, but also always reassure people that you love them. Always tell the people around you love them. Always share love. I feel like love is important. Always share love, so that you don't just regret it. Don't dwell on the bad things, but just always share love.
Always share love. Wow. This was this I felt was a bit of a different conversation. I like this conversation that we had. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm not gonna even dive into that now, because you explained it so well. You know, it's so simple but yet so powerful. You know, just share love. Let the next person know that they loved. Life is short. Life is unpredictable. Share love. And wow, I enjoy this conversation with you. I feel like inspired right now by all, because I mean, I knew some of your things, but I didn't know all of it. I didn't know like where it's coming from or how you looked at it and so forth. So I'm super glad I had this conversation with you. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm inspired. I hope you guys are inspired at home as well. And I mean, I've learned a lot. I hope you guys have learned too. Thank you again so much for listening. I enjoyed this one. And guys at home, don't forget to live life and be happy.
Yes.